Okay, so I'm just gonna assume we're live. It says live, but I'm getting used to all this new interface. Um, Hello, everyone. This is Rainbow Heart Freedom Eagle, and it is a joyful day. It's July 22nd, 2020, Wednesday. I'm here because I'm inspired to make a part two of shadow contracts. So, for those of you who have seen or are familiar with my first video called Shadow Contracts, I give credit to Amanda Flaker for this term, shadow contracts, and I will actually paste her link. That way you can see what she's talking about more masterfully with the way that she teaches, what she teaches. And yeah, it's just really beautiful. Now, how can this help you? Shadow contracts and your shadows. Being happy, being authentic, being having emotional freedom instead of just lying to yourself, being false or fake, or yeah, lying to yourself, which is basically that causes mental illness. That makes you mentally and physically sick. So when you're able to more fully and authentically express yourself, and not that you have to let everybody know your point or how you feel, or let them know in an uncontrolled, emotionally uncontrolled manner, you can you can have more control over yourself. You can have more grace, ease, poise, and just prevent problems like no. Saying the word no, that's just something that solves a lot of problems. For example, when you know how to set healthy boundaries with other people, and first it starts with setting healthy boundaries with yourself. Okay, I'm going to just dive in because I know it gets more easily relatable when I just dive into the examples and stories. I have been a teacher, I have been a caregiver, I have been it's just so many different job positions and titles. And the example that I'm going to use right now is actually for the elderly who need assisted care, daily living activities, whether it be in a nursing home, whether it be in their home, whether it be, um, yeah, different kinds of settings like that. When when I have seen and witnessed the elderly actually abused, abused and molested by their own family, yes, it's disheartening. At the same time, being an empath, I can imagine and actually for see, oh my goodness, some of these family members of yours are actually abusing you and being mean, being unjust and unfair and just being really harmful and mean to you because this is payback. And not that I support revenge or payback, but I can see that, oh, they have so much angst and anger and they want to take their anger out on you. They want to seek revenge. They're not saying it verbally. They're in denial, but what I see, what I observe with my actions, with their actions, tell me otherwise. It's like, why are you so angry? Like, you say you want to care for your parent, but you're really enjoying, deep down, subconsciously enjoying, because this is what your actions are telling me. Match seeing your parents suffer, seeing your grandparents suffer, seeing whoever it is in your elderly life suffer. Okay, what are the examples? Okay, when I first started, yeah, I've taken many stances and I've seen many examples of, for example, a granddaughter. I've seen her say, "Oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't eaten yet, or you already ate." Basically, she bent the story backwards and said, "Oh yeah, you already ate," and just basically threw away the oatmeal, when in fact the her grandmother didn't even eat yet. "Oh no, you're fine." So she was basically, You know how people say gaslighting, brainwashing, manipulating. They're making the person, this particular granddaughter was making the grandmother wrong, saying, oh, you already did that. I'm going to throw this away. You don't need this. Okay. Um, Other examples that I see are actual bullying and harassment, not just like stealing the money, but physically beating up on the elderly. And when this was revealed to me by other family members, because I got very concerned and felt unsafe. However, when other family members revealed it to me that, oh, that's nothing, it's actually worse, this and this and this and this. Wow. And the difference is, sure, this person who discloses information to me is confused, like, oh, I don't want to gossip. People, there's a difference between gossip and advocating. Okay, you know, if you think you're going to get in trouble for not saying this, then you probably will, and you don't want to make waves. Okay, gossip is just talking shit, right? Just talking negative, talking. But when you're advocating, you're actually problem solving. You're doing it to help solve problems, help alleviate, help improve situations. Okay, I'm going to go even further when I touch upon shadow contracts, because why why are these people, younger people, that in these examples that I've shared, why are they abusing the elderly? Payback, revenge. Oh, you kicked me, you abused me, you verbally, emotionally, whatever, sexually, financially, you just scarred me for life. You know, you hurt me when I was a kid, so this is payback. I'm going to abuse you now that you're weak and powerless. This is sad, but it's true. These are things that people don't want to talk about. I've had other people totally not even remove someone from a situation because they're pretending they're helping their mother, when really, their elderly mother, when really she gets a kick out of seeing her getting pissed off, losing it, being senile, having dementia, and just fighting and just, you know, feeling hopeless and pathetic. And it's really sad because for me, you know, I look at things with a higher perspective as, well, if this is my company and these are my employees, of course, you want your employees to learn how to get along, learn how to have social interactions, and not spoil them and give them everything they want. At the same time, you're losing money when certain people are fighting just because certain personality types don't get along. So, in the longer run, it would just make sense to, you know, kind of like, I've been a teacher. If you're a teacher in the classroom, you separate the kids who just don't get along, because the whole class suffers. You can't teach, you can't be productive, you can't move forward, and the whole ship sinks. So when there's people that just don't get along, whatever it be, karmically in this life, beyond personality wise, the easiest thing to do would be to separate them, have them work separately, right? This daughter did not do that. And despite her saying, oh, yeah, blah, 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 her actions didn't match. She actually enjoyed seeing her mother flip out, fight, feel powerless. You know, she enjoyed her mother, enjoyed seeing her mother have pain and suffering. And I could see that this person, this elderly lady, is very abusive. And I can already see from her past, this is how the mother treated the daughter. And now the daughter, of course, has custody, can have the power of attorney, can have be the one dictating all the instructions with all whatever doctors, caregivers, just people who physically, medically, and legally take care of her elderly mom. So I've seen this time and time again, and I've been on both sides where I actually reported, where I actually, people might want to say ratted out or whatever, but I don't see it as gossip, as other people, other family members told me, oh, I'm scared. I don't want to gossip. But at the same time, you know that it's not gossip because they told me, oh, if they knew these things and they didn't report it, they might go get in trouble and go to jail, because they're afraid to rock the waves in the boat and confront the other family members who are taking advantage, who are harassing, who are molesting. So there is a difference. Now, how does this tie into shadow contracts? Okay. These people who I have witnessed, and yes, I have been, this is not easy. This is not an easy topic. This is not easy to deal with if you're in that situation. You know, more wisdom, clarity, and power to you, because I have been on the side where, okay, let's see if I just don't say anything, and then, oh, let's say everything. And oh, yeah, let's say something. So it is really a lot about seeing how we feel in that moment, and documenting, taking notes, and just knowing, picking your battles. When is the time to strike, and what is necessary, not being emotionally out of control, but you know legally, professionally, how do you approach things such as these sensitive topics. Okay, the shadow contracts. I made a part one called shadow contracts, and the other, okay, the first example that I do remember was the lady saying, I retired, but my work is still calling me. How annoying, how parasitic or vampiric. Okay, that's the example. On the lower level, the shadow contract is, she admitted to me, oh, I actually like to feel needed. Okay, and then I went lower with the white noise. What could the white noise be? um I don't feel good enough, so I need validation, I need people to need me. So that's why you're complaining about the people being parasitic and using you, even though you retired from that job. But you admitted the shadow contract. What are you getting out of it? I want to feel needed. Okay, so why do you need to feel needed? The white noise, even deeper, is the root is, I don't feel good enough. I need validation. I need to feel needed. You know, that's how people feel worthy. The thing is, with these shadow contracts, we can shine light, and too many people have been raised and reared in shame. You know, me myself being a Filipino American, I've had a lot of cultural upbringings, whether it be with the Spanish, Hispanic, or Asian, and they'll say like, "Ooh, ooh," like they'll start pinching you, and it's like you're not allowed to have a crush on someone. They'll start shaming you, like, "Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna pinch you, I'm gonna hurt you." You're like, you're not allowed to feel love. You're not allowed to feel in love, or you're not allowed to succeed. They'll say something like, oh, naks naman, like you're almost embarrassed to shine. No, not almost embarrassed, like it's shameful, like it's bragging and boasting, like it's demonized, bastardized. Okay, so why is this important? When you Shadows are not necessarily bad. These are beautiful treasures and gems and messages. Why is this important? When you actually get really authentic with yourself. Like, people ask, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. But you're really mad and you're not telling them why. That can be harmful. Think about going postal. Think about what in the 80s someone shot up a guy's gun and shot up all the people in the post office because he doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. So this is mental illness. We need to acknowledge our emotions, and we can do it in a nice, controlled, healthy, balanced manner that can still be professional yet assertive. The first step is we need to be honest with ourselves. If we're not honest with ourselves, then you're just seething in resentment. And when you're like that, people won't trust you. You're fake, you're incongruent. You're the most unhealthy people, they are incongruent, because the inside, the inside emotions and feelings and what they're really thinking subconsciously, it doesn't match their outer world. It doesn't match what their actions do. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go to this party even though I hate that person and I think she's a bitch and I'm really angry at her for sleeping with my husband. Okay? So that doesn't match. It's like, okay, I'm doing something even though I truly don't want to. Another example could be, like I said, oh, how are you? People say, oh, I'm fine. But really, you're not fine. You're being silent. You're giving someone the cold shoulder, the silent treatment. You're being passive aggressive. You're not honestly expressing that, well, I was pissed off when you maybe tattled on me to the boss. And so you just keep it in and then you retaliate. You become passive aggressive and then you do something later to hurt that person who tattled on you. Okay? These these things can get so blown out of proportion. That's why it goes both ways. You can't just have be blaming a perpetrator, blaming the bullier or the instigator. You can't just be blaming the victim or the person who is receiving the, I don't know, annoying actions or unjust actions. Why? Because we all have to take personal responsibility. We all need to know how to be in balance and stand up for ourselves and just be assertive, to say it in a calm fashion and just be firm. And then we also need to know that when like we've all been on both sides, the victim, the savior, the perpetrator, the bullier. It doesn't matter. We've all sat in all of those chairs. We've all worn those hats. So we need to take personal responsibility for each role that we play in each moment. Okay, why are you being the bullier? Because you're mad at that person, or you feel insecure, you feel small, and you want to take and steal their power. You want to take and steal their privacy, their happiness, their freedom, even if it's just quote unquote emotional freedom. Why do people rape and molest or steal money? Why? Because they're thinking these things, there's something not right within them, so they want to perpetrate and do things to other people. So we have to be clear with what we're doing to other people and why. Oh, why am I angry? Did mom and dad not treat me well enough? And that's why I feel small and secure and I have to get my self worth from stealing power and bullying other people. I mind you, I know people who actually got stabbed and left in the parking lot because they were such bullies and they still did not learn their lesson. They still kept doing the same actions and behaviors that got him to being stabbed and left abandoned in a parking lot with no one to help him. Still doing the same things because he didn't learn his lesson. So these shadow contracts is really healing these shadows. These shadows can be, I feel unloved. Oh, it can be, well, that can be the white noise actually. The shadow contract can be, okay, at age 7, this person was, who knows, sexually molested, raped. And then the white noise that this person is still broadcasting to the world and playing out in his or her interactions as an adult is, um, someone stole from me. They stole my innocence, whatever, through sex. Well, they're going to be maybe a bully, whether they do it through sex or physical or verbal harassment. Okay. That's not cool. And yet, people know these things already, but it still exists in this world. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why we have to make ourselves safe, because there are people who operate with these kinds of hurts and wounds, and that's why we have evils in the world, because they have these beliefs that they're not enough, they're not good enough, and it doesn't matter if they were abused like Oprah, sexually molested, because there are people who have been taken advantage of and they still don't act out like that. For example, like myself and Bear, even if we've been abused, physically, sexually, mentally, emotionally, financially, people, any type of trauma, whether it be from one person or a group of people or multiple events. The thing is, you have the power to take personal responsibility for yourself and heal it. You know, these brothers and sisters that I've seen that are related to the sibling that is abusing the elderly mother, they are very respectful. They chose that. See, you always have freedom of choice, you always have free will. Now, this guy who's being the abuser and, being a punk, abusing his mother that is so, like, now helpless and weak. And I can see, because I see these streaks, I see these flashes of, wow, you're a pretty abusive woman, not just to yourself, but to the world and other people. The way you think, the way you talk, the way you live, what drives her. And I can see it's a reflection in the son. However, the other children chose not to be that way. They actually chose to be really responsible and reliable and respectful and respectable people. So, again, it always comes back to personal responsibility. Now, with all these human trafficking that's being exposed and being brought to justice now in the year 2020, especially in this summer, it's what today's July 22nd, 2020. It's being aired out in the news now, in the media. You have to be really honest with yourself, because even if it's as little as oh, I don't, what's wrong with you? Oh, how are you? I'm good, but you're really not good because you're lashing out, giving someone else, I don't know, your lover, your friend, your coworker, the cold shoulder. So you're lying. That will come back to bite you in the ass. You just gotta be, oh, okay, well, you know what? I'm still a little peeved because whatever, you tattled on me to the boss. You know, you say it, you release it, it's done and over with. If there's a confrontation, there's a discussion about it, fine. But it's out in the air, it's cleared. You can start with a fresh slate again. Because if you bottle it in, that's very dangerous. You can explode like a volcano, and people will think, where the heck did that come from? It's blown out of proportion. It's out of context because they didn't see that you've been seething and accumulating resentment for a day or a week or a month or a year. And then suddenly, one little thing just triggers you, and you don't. To them, they see it as irrational, but to you, you're like, well, you allowed yourself to put up with that abuse or that whatever, people being mean to you for a long time. So that's your part in taking personal responsibility in, having them back the fuck up and not letting them do that to you, right from the get go. Now, in this date, so many people are losing their relationships with loved ones, families, friends that they thought they were really tight, they're ride and die for even lifelong relationships, best friends. That's why it's even more imperative right now, because the way that the dimensions and the earth are vibrating and oscillating and ascending. I mean, I've heard these for years, in the past decades. Okay, everything is oscillating faster, right? So things manifest in the physical reality faster, more easily. And I'm not just talking about the desirable things, the fortunes, the happy things. I'm talking about even the things you don't want, whether you plan on it or not. That's why you got to be so clear with yourself and nip it in the bud. Oh, I feel tired. I really shouldn't attend this meeting because I'm going to lash out at these people. I'm not going to boost the meeting up and be productive. I'm actually going to lash out and be resentful and say, like, fuck you, I don't want to be here, and not even help, not even be neutral, but maybe even suck the energy of the meeting and just, how do you say, talk shit to them or just criticize everyone and everything because you're in this frame of mind of, oh, you feel sick and tired, so it really is not meant for you to attend that meeting. or to provide whatever service, or just whatever, whether it be in business or your personal life. You see, when you feel guilty, because guilt just means that you went against one of your values and you did something, subconsciously you will broadcast and magnetize misfortunes to you. Has this happened to me? Yes, I can speak from personal experience. I got into an accident, and I never get into accidents, right? But it never fails. Whenever there's something, you ask, why did this happen? And it always makes sense. Okay, I was feeling this emotion, guilt, and oh, I never get into car accident, but suddenly I did, because it's like subconsciously punishing myself. And when I had a friend tell me this, I said, oh my goodness. This is a long time ago, but it was so true. I felt guilty for breaking one of my values. And that was me magnetizing, creating that in my reality to punish myself. And eventually, they say the truth will set you free. I confessed, and I let the person know what I did, because I violated my own rules. And to clear my name, to clear my conscience, I actually revealed to the person and confessed. Okay? Because it really didn't make sense to magnetize that accident. Another thing, so that was guilt. So that's why you don't want to stay in these negative, lower vibrations, emotions. You need to be so clear with yourself, because you magnetize, you create miracles, you create tragedies, you create anything in the middle slithering by. Okay? Um, what was the other example? Um, okay, let's take a breather. Uh, okay, so when I felt powerless, like, oh, I didn't want to live, you know, what happened to me? And like I tell you, I usually am on a high. I hardly have any accidents, and I usually get what I want. When you're at a certain level of consciously manifesting things, when it's like, oh, why are you so happy? Well, I'm high on life. So when and we all are allowed to, and we all do, oscillate between highs and lows. And some of us stay higher and just barely dip, some of us are always low, and some of us in the middle, and others are just erratic. So the point is, when I felt defeated, I actually had um I had something I had a football hit my face when I was wearing glasses, and so the glasses, it hurt. It and this never happens to me. So for that to happen, there was a meaning. When we have these instances in our physical reality, we have to ask, what is the meaning of this? What is the message? What do I need to fix? What do I need to do to change? Like, do I want to keep attracting those kinds of situations? Do I want to attract better situations? So, what am I feeling? What am I vibrating at that I attracted that I created that in my reality? Okay. You can do this for the positive things, like when you win the lottery. Me, like when I win raffles. Okay, there's certain things, there's certain criteria into manifesting the more desirable things that you want, whether it be conditions, like feelings. Oh, I feel happy, I feel blissful. I feel like, I don't know, invincible, like I'm on a winning streak, or attractive. I feel whatever, just um, joyful. Those are the conditions. Or other relationships, loving relationships, supportive relationships. Those are the conditions. So we can talk about things, people. What was it? There was this quote: things, people, relationships. Oh, other conditions such as your health. You feel vitality and wellness. So there are certain criteria that you can manage. Hold on. Certain criteria that you can follow, like certain recipe That way you can actually manifest these things. However, let me bring myself back to the shadow contracts. Um, I know I started off as a really heavy video with abuse, literally, when people are younger, parents, relatives, aunties, uncles, grandmas, grandpas can do incest, can sexually abuse, can hurt verbally, physically, sexually assault and abuse the younger, weaker people. And at the same time, it also goes back when you're older and weaker, the younger people can take revenge and abuse them. Yes, that's a heavy topic. I wanted to share it. It was on my mind, it was on my chest. And, most people don't want to go there, but I go there. Uh, Part of my calling is shadow works. And the shadow is your treasure because you get real. You get authentically honest with yourself. Why am I angry? Why am I sad? Things like that. Okay. Go ahead and watch my first video, Shadow Contracts Part 1. I'm going to call this Shadow Contracts Part 2. I think to make it a little more laced up, I'll go with another example before I end this. I would love to do lives and interact with you guys. However, those of you who already know, Bear and I are being heavily shadow banned on all of our social media platforms, so I'm just going to upload the video. Let's see, what's another example? Let's see. Go ahead and take a breather, pick your nose, whatever you need to do while I receive what else to share. Okay. I just got one. I don't know why, but it just came to me. I know we're talking about like these vampiric, parasitic behaviors, taking advantage, bullying, whatever. It can happen in all those ways that I named: financially, sexually, physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally, socially, like excluding people, not just bullying and ganging up as mom, but excluding people. Well, it can also happen between and amongst your loved ones. For example, there's grandma and grandpa, and he looks very young. Why does he look so young? And why does grandma look like a used up, very sick, dying person? Very unattractive. What do you guys think? What do you think I'm going to say? Yes, there are such things as parasiting, vampirizing off of energy. It all coincides. Everything is interrelated. People can steal your happiness, your privacy, your time. They can steal your youth. And they can do this just energetically by being platonic and or sexually. That's why there are succubus, incubus. So, what's the shadow contract in a relationship like this? Usually, and it goes both ways, but this is just the example I'm going to share. It goes both ways. The Leaving that example of grandma and grandpa, the older man can have younger trophy wives because it boosts their self-esteem, because maybe, I don't know, they have small penises, whatever, and they're rich and they can buy a trophy wife. Okay, so he wants to feel more worthy or more confidence by having a young looking, beautiful, sexy trophy wife. Okay, and then that's his shadow contract. What's the shadow contract of the young woman? Usually, not all the time, but usually, okay, is it really love, or she's using him for financial security? Okay, we all know this happens so often. And in these days, there are also, I don't want to just say men, it can go back, it can be like cougars, like older women with younger men. And usually the older one will take advantage and suck the energy or whatever it is they're sucking of the younger one in the relationship. These AI or these robots, there are sex robots, okay? Robotoids, there are robots. And because of these, I like to call it mental illness, you know, I'm more about being organic and healthy and more whole, empowering, you know, balance, being natural, not this, oh yeah, here's a sex doll, let's fuck this doll. There are there are people who buy these dolls and have sex with these female sex dolls. I call that mental illness. You know, this is my opinion. You know, you can disagree with me all you want, but oh, these people, whether it be whoever, men, let's just say older men, it doesn't matter if it's a gay, lesbian woman, doesn't matter what age, or if it's man, young, old, doesn't matter. I'll just say older men. They have these sex dolls, like, okay, you can fuck this doll. And what? Program her the way you want. So she can't talk back or whatever. She'll just be however you want. Well, that's really inauthentic. And it's very sad because it's like you don't want to deal, you can't handle, you're too weak to deal with a real woman, you know, with a real portal, a stargate, you know, someone who can bring in babies from multiple dimensions. You have to go with something that's fake because you feel, I don't know, insecure, weak. You feel like, not just you have a small penis, but you feel like, oh, um, it can't handle a real strong woman or a live woman. Or maybe you just don't want to deal with, I don't know, prostitute and a horse. So you're just like, okay, this is easy. I'm just going to use something that you think is fake, that you think doesn't have any sentience. But the danger in this is these AI actually take over, okay? And you think that you're controlling them, but really, once they outsmart the humans, and this has been shown in movies, so you know, art imitates reality, so this is nothing new, okay? People have been doing this, people show it in movies, and what happens, the movies that I've seen, the AI take over and they actually kill the humans, and they take revenge. It's like, you think it's just a damn robot, it's not. It's like, oh, you did this and this and this with me, you took advantage, you just used me for sex, blah blah blah, you abused me, whatever. Why do they even want to abuse the doll? It's because, like I said, mental illness. That's not loving, that's not love, you know. It's all stemming from lack. So these shadow contracts of, oh, I don't feel strong enough, I don't feel good enough, oh, I'm just gonna get something that, I'm just gonna what, sell out and go with something that's weak or fake or inorganic, or I think is that I can easily dominate and control. That's dangerous because that's not reality. Reality is, there are AI that are not just good for the good or neutral, but even for the evil, that are taking over and wanting to um, exact revenge. And even, I mean, the movies that I watched, the AI female robots even kill the men who have take over and kill the men who have had sex with them and just use them for whatever of their pleasures, you know? So that's why we really need to be honest with ourselves. Like some of you, hopefully, I don't know, some of you might be empty seaters. Maybe you're just born that way, meaning you don't have a soul. So you're evil, you don't have a conscience. Some of you may have been born with a soul, but it has left. You've given it away. Maybe it has left during times of trauma, once or multiple times in your life. So that's why you don't feel guilty anymore. You don't have a conscience. That's why these people are not like us. I call it mental illness, but for them, they're actually being true to themselves. But when you're not true to yourself and you do have a soul, this is what can happen. You can become evil and become and lose your soul fragments. That's why it's so important to heal your traumas, your shadows, your wounds. Why do you not feel good enough? Did something happen? What were those touch points in your past? Let's heal them. You know, whether it be rape, whether it be just someone saying, oh, the parent saying, oh, you're ugly, oh, you're not good enough. Don't, like, for me, they told me, oh, don't get that haircut. Who do you think you are, celebrity? That is so degrading. That's so shameful. And little benign things like that, people can hold on to that. And if they don't know how to heal themselves or be more empowered, master their energy, their psychology, they can go postal, lose control, and just like start shooting people, or even not be themselves anymore, be infiltratable, where other evil forces, whether they be humans or multidimensional beings or spirits, take over. So you think, oh, that person's evil. It's not even them anymore. It's like, why did that person shoot all these people, go postal and, do Columbine shooting, whatever? It's not even, it could be them. It could be their alter ego. There's many scenarios. Or it could be, it wasn't really them. They got taken over. Gosh, I was trying to lighten it up, but I guess this video is just meant to be kind of deep and intense. Not really comfortable. I go there, like I said, Bear and I work with shadows for integration, shadows for wholeness, for power, for peace, for joy, for balance, for your evolution. That's why there's a deep understanding of this topic. And I love to tell jokes. I love to be silly and goofy. But I guess I didn't plan on it being this heavy and intense, but that's just where it brought me. Okay. I'm just inspired. Um I just want to like bust out and turn on some music and start dancing, but I'm actually not gonna do that because it's uncomfortable. And sometimes we just have to learn how to be uncomfortable with discomfort. Whew. Okay. For those of you who think you might be interested in building tribe with us and joining our spaceship on patreon.com/Bear and Rainbow Shamanic Healers, we will be launching it very soon. Go ahead and come contact us. And very soon, in just a few days, actually. Okay. You can join for as little as $5 a month, that tier. And yeah, we look forward to not just teaching, but actually having intel, community, wisdom, everyone sharing and building, supporting, loving each other up, evolving together because you are powerful. You are important. We all have important messages, pieces to the puzzle. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is Rainbow Heart Freedom Eagle signing out. Take care. Many blessings, peace, joy, miracles. And just know you are powerful to take control of your life and be happy. You don't have to wait for this to happen to be happy. You don't have to wait to die to be in heaven to be happy. You don't have to wait to, I don't know, get the perfect job, get the perfect mate. Heaven on earth is a state of mind. You can allow yourself to oscillate, to vibrate by you taking control of yourself, by understanding who you are and making better decisions, making better action, doing better actions, and creating your reality, creating more good things and fortunes and blessings and miracles, inviting them into your life, magnetizing them, and just allowing yourself to be happy, letting go of the shame, the guilt. People, society tell you, you're not allowed to be happy. How dare you? How dare you shine? How dare you succeed? How dare you be sexy? How dare you be healthy? How dare you make a lot of money? So, all these shadow contracts brought to the light for your healthiness, your wholeness, your empowerment, your joy, your peace. All of these myths, you can and you will, and you are allowed to break them. You are allowed to face and accept your shadows and heal them, integrate them. They're not evil, they're just messages. What are your shadows begging and seeking from you? Okay, Rainbow Heart Freedom Eagle signing out. Namaste. Peace, joy, many blessings and miracles. Healing. It is all that is.